129. Okay, here we go. Newcomer, page 85. Renee smiled and said, I can see how you've gotten to this day. She touched Susan's shoulder to give her permission to rise, then offered her a cordial embrace before walking over and sitting behind her desk, where she pointed towards a chair for Susan to sit down. From her desk she took out a decorated box and handed it across to Susan. Open this, she said, and you will see how far you have come and the prestige that you have earned. Susan held the box in her lap a moment while she looked into her queen's eyes. She found pride, compassion, and even love there. She then looked down at the box and closed her eyes for a silent prayer of thanks. Her niece nodded her approval of Susan's proper etiquette and motioned towards the box. Susan lifted the lid from the silver box and gasped when she saw what it contained, a housekeeper's pinboard. Slowly she removed it from the package. Embossed in gold lettering above the display screen was the name, Susan of Cynthis. She ran her forefinger across the name, letting her new title set in as she thought of a new station. She looked at the queen. The niece nodded to her daughter's questioning glance. Susan had been promoted to head housekeeper matrix, in charge of the 350 rooms of the guest wing and the 160-person cleaning staff. She rose from her chair and bowed before the queen. The niece stood. I trust that you won't disappoint my decision. Susan pledged her life. The niece came out from behind her desk, telling Susan where she could find a new office, then kissed her on both cheeks. Susan bowed, then left. November 14th, 1987. I can't believe that I've been here for this long. The boredom is driving me crazy. They stopped television broadcasts now. Not that I was able to watch what I wanted to anyway. I haven't been able to see the news in quite a while, and the Fall Guy hasn't been available either. I have nothing to read except for my journal. I had a Bible stashed once, but they found that. It's only a matter of time before they found my journal. I nearly had a heart attack the other day when they came to change the bathroom light bulb, but when they left it was still there, hidden behind the adjacent panel. I don't have any crafts either. I think I could take up knitting about now. All I do is eat, sleep, shit, and fuck. The niece unwrapped the bath towel from her head, rubbing her hair with it as she walked towards her antique vanity. Most of the castle's furnishings came from the time before restructure, restored and handed down from high queen to high queen. The furnishings in the niece's rooms were traded from the modern decor that the high queen before her had used, and the modern furnishings were sent back to the great storage located beneath the castle. The niece was on the nostalgic side, surrounding herself with dark mahogany and crystals. She dropped the towel and sat down before a beveled mirror to study her face for new wrinkles and to search for her lost impish lines of youth. The cold shower she had taken after her sauna had closed her open pores, leaving her skin tight and shiny. She revived it with her night cream, and picked up her body lotion and poured a large amount into the palm of her hand. She began her task of smoothing it on her body by beginning with her throat and down, up, and around her small, firm breast. She worked the lotion across her stomach and into her sides, trying not to feel the indented stretch marks that scarred her. With every pregnancy she required a few more stretch marks, and they repulsed her. With another pregnancy pending, her daily lotioning had turned to a nightly one as well. When she had finished, she rose from a white silk-covered pedestal and slipped into a long, thin gown. She slid open the balcony window and stepped out. The antediluvian breeze danced through her silver gown, billowing it into shimmering swirls, filling her mind with the mist of the night and allowing her to forget the mundanity of her existence. The moonlit garden glistened below, beckoning a twilight visit. She accepted the invitation to lift the balcony from the staircase which descended from it. The evening dew dampened the ends of her gown as she strolled towards the center of the garden, where the hyacinths grew wild among the planted azalea bushes and the twining vines of wisteria. Flowering petals of life perfumed the air as she knelt down. Nature's hidden orchestra played its symphony of yearning as Anise raised her gaze into the sky. She presented herself to the night with uplifted arms, hands pleading for a sign that she belonged to an entity more profound than her obligation to the way. The stars accepted her devotion by sparkling more brilliantly, and confirmed their approval of her by spraying a rainbow of light from the crystal ring that she wore into the velvet void. The arch of color rekindled her own affirmations. The celestial aura vanished as the star's rainbow diminished, leaving Anise cold, wet, and more alone than before. As her sense of duty returned, she rose to the moist ground and stamped a path of footprints back to the castle. The trail connecting the balcony to the center of her garden. Carved into the grass where she knelt was the imprint from her folded legs, an elongated heart, earth sculptured and a martyred token of a daughter of the stars. Terry tossed and turned in his sleep, for his dreams were plaguing him. He finally woke up remembering one. Old sat on a cushion in the middle of a dirt floor of a round room with tan-plastered walls. She read from a book that she had used to read to Terry. A door opened into the room, and Old looked up and smiled at the person who stood in the foyer hidden by the door. She offered her a book to the person. A hand reached into the room for it, and Old vanished. Terry rose from his futon to use his toilet. Too many questions clouded his developing mind, and the presence of Old in his dreams made him sad, lonely, and confused. Now was the time that he needed her guidance more than ever, and she was gone. After he was done using the toilet, he paced temporal, trying to shake the sad thoughts of Old when my matrix entered his mind. He wondered if Old would like my matrix. He decided that she would, and returned to his bed. Lying on his futon, staring out of his picture window, he saw something that he had never seen at night, a rainbow arching across the window. The beauty of it reminded him of my matrix, which allowed him to fall back to sleep with dreams of lunches with my matrix in a private garden. That's it for today.